Hey, what's up, y'all? It's D about to react to this video by Maury. It's titled Gen Z is Aging Like Milk. Probably because there's a lot going on in the world. They're stressed out. Okay, they're going through it. Leave them alone. But sure, let's see what's on here. Let's watch.
I am aging like milk, bro. This content creator, she's 25. Her entire comment section is just people saying that her skin looks horrible and she looks old. I'm scrolling through her page as I'm sitting down here, and then like my eyes shift focus to my reflection, which is actually what I'm looking at right now. My reflection in my phone case, and I see how I look right now, and I'm like, she thinks she looks bad. Oh my gosh, I'm 23, and I look like I could be this lady's father.
Yikes. I'm not gonna lie, and I want to be as respectful as possible, but this guy right here definitely looks 10 to 15 years older than what he actually looks like. 23 is what he says he is. And I'm not entirely sure what's going on with his voice. I'm just gonna assume that's like a TikTok, Instagram voice filter or whatever, but Jesus, good God, what is going on? This man looks like he could definitely be 35, pushing 40 maybe. And I can honestly say
40 is a bit of a stretch, but I was initially thinking like he's probably in his early 30s. Maybe mid.
Hey, when I was 23, I looked...
He's not bad looking, though. Maybe it's the angle, or maybe because his hair is thinning a little bit. I don't know.
Nowhere near like this. And considering the fact in the image that we see right here on the screen that all these people are literally Gen Zers, they're all in their early to mid 20s, it's just scary actually. I'm not entirely sure what's going on, if there's something in the air, in the water, in the food, or all three of the above, but this is getting bad.
Do you want to get their ages just for fun?
Yeah.
Okay,
I reacted to a video like this before.
Nicole is 24.
Okay, these women, though, they have a different problem. They are running to these surgeons to get filler and Botox and all this other shit pumped into their face, you know, for their 18th birthday, and it start migrating weird, and then they start looking crazy. So they did this to themselves.
Harriet is 24.
Oh my God.
And then Jess is 25. Wow.
Honestly, the fact that a professional surgeon is that in shock at what he just saw speaks volumes.
What's going on? Also, new addition. What's up with these guys? These little hooks on the end of my ears, these little elf ears. People always used to say that I had elf ears in elementary school. Not because of these are new. It's like they're coming to fruition because of things spoken about me in past times. What's going on here? Anyway, wow, I'm 23 and I look like I have gray hair. Just in this light, but...
Yes, some advice for this guy. Definitely grow out your hair. The short hair is definitely contributing to the fact that you're already blonde and the sun is piercing your scalp, which is making it look so transparent and making you look like you're balder than you actually are. Also, possibly maybe gain some weight, get a nice skincare routine to, you know, help with the fine lines and wrinkles. Guys, also wear sunscreen. I know there's this new trend, this new fad where people want to sun gaze and they want to be in the sun for hours a day with a UV index of 9+, but just realize that is aging you rapidly, that is destroying your skin cells, that is potentially contributing to potential skin cancer. Like, yeah, sure, cool, the sun is good for you, you know, depending on the pigmentation of your skin, an hour or two per day over the course of...
It has nothing to do with the pigmentation of your skin. People of all skin tones. Don't listen to him. People of all skin tones. Are you black, white, whatever, albino? Well, I don't know there. Anyway, you should be using sunscreen and you should be limiting your sun exposure. Sunbathing is not smart, and it is going to age you like milk.
The day of sunlight is perfectly fine, but just staying for hours on end in the sun will definitely do more harm than good. Somebody in the comment section, though, said, I feel so bad. I first thought, and I quote, no, you look great, not old at all, until you said you were 23. I don't even want to say what I thought. Yikes.
Well, do you not realize how old y'all motherfuckers over, like, 30 look?
So I'm almost 40. I'm almost 40 years old.
Feels good.
But who cares how old we look? Like, why are we arguing about this? Like, why can't we all just get along, have a good time?
I will say, though, just as much as I see posts like this where people are bringing light to how old Gen Z looks, I also see other posts where you have some millennials who are a bit delusional and thinking that they look super duper young. And that's not the case either. Okay, so I need everybody to shut the fuck up and just be happy that you're still on this planet and you're still alive. Because what comes with aging and getting older, you're going to start to look older, and that's okay. That's okay to accept that. And Gen Z, yes, some of them do look a little bit aged. But I think it's important to remember that Gen Z and the generations behind them, they kind of have a tougher life. Not even kind of. They have a much tougher life than we as millennials had. Okay? Although social media was a thing when I was a kid, it wasn't as popular as it is now. And me and my friends were not constantly on social media all the time. It was kind of something we did when we got home. All right, it was like, yeah, at home at the end of the night, you kind of unwind and then sure, you might check your messages, do a little post update, whatever, you're going about your business. But we had a whole life outside of the internet. But so I feel like that caused us to be stress-free. And kids today, they're online all the time and not realizing that this is stressing them the fuck out with all the world news and this is going wrong and that and this person is doing this and that this person got a great body and now you insecure and you feel like, oh, I'm ugly and I'm fat. Like all of that starts to put a lot of stress on them and it starts to appear in their face. Okay. That's the reality of it. So I feel like we need to give Gen Z a bit of grace in that regard. Leave them alone. Okay. They have a hard life, honestly. When I think of my life growing up and just what these kids have to deal with, it is very different. And that's probably why they are aging a bit more rapidly. And obviously it's not everybody. I come across a lot of Gen Z. They look like kids. They look young. But there are some where it's like, you 20 years old? Or I'm like, oh, okay. But give them grace.
Because there are way worse things that we could all be pissed off about.
Agreed, but blame it on Gen Zers or the younger part of Gen Z because they will literally, as soon as you turn 21, 22, 23, call you unk. Literally, there's this new trend with the younger part of Gen Z calling people in their 20s unk. And not because, you know, they may have a sibling or a sister or brother who had a child, right? That type of uncle, right? Technically speaking, you're an uncle if one of your siblings had a baby. You could be an uncle at 12 or 13 years old. I was an uncle at 10. But no, they're actually using this term.
Literally, I was a child as an auntie. So that's never offended me. Like, whatever.
Unk, which is shortened for uncle,
call me auntie.
as a slur.
I am an auntie. I've been an auntie since I was a child.
Basically call you old. And honestly, this already tells me that when Gen Z all reach their 30s and 40s, there's going to be a hell of a lot of midlife crises out here because apparently these people are afraid of aging.
I feel like I'm the only Gen Z who knows like how bizarre y'all are when it comes to age.
Very.
Like y'all are really weird about it. Like you really.
I mean, I think every generation they age shame when they're young because they're stupid. I pretty sure I have. I don't recall doing it, but I mean, I feel like it's very common when you're a child and you think anybody over the age of like 20 something, oh my God, you're so old, you're so much older than me, until you get there and you're like, oh. Okay, this is not old at all. Like, I still ain't got shit figured out, you know. So I think every generation does this, but because of social media, we just have access to seeing, you know, everything people say and all the age shaming. But it's always been a thing.
Got 23-year-olds acting like a 28-year-old is old, and they'd be like, "Oh my God, you look so young." They're 28. Am I missing something? Like, what's wrong with my generation? Like, this is genuinely scaring me. Like. Even 18-year-olds to 20-year-olds. You guys act like they're fucking old. What is going on?
I think there's a lot of immaturity and arrested development going on for Gen Z because, like, we're the generation where, especially if you were born after 2005, where you literally grew up with technology. You're iPad kids, right? You grew up with a fucking social media device at the tip of your fingers, and you grew up in a very superficial, shallow world where...
Yes, most common words, depressed, angry, alone. That's people searching. And 42% of people are addicted to social media.
Everything's like fast fashion, materialistic, focused on your looks. And you grew up in a society where nobody prepared you to grow up or become an adult. In fact, we live in a society where people want to infantilize grown adults. 18, 19, 20, 21, calling them kids and children. Like, excuse me, by the time you're 16, you should be well on your way to be preparing for college or getting your first job, being on the road, driving, preparing yourself as a young man or young lady for adulthood. That is the age when let's be honest here, if you murder someone, you're going to jail, jail, prison. Also, believe it or not, whether you think it's good or bad, that would typically be the age range for a lot of World War II vets who were sent off to fight for this country. The founding fathers were like in their early 20s, 20, 21, 22, 23. The people who who founded this country. But the fact that now we live in a day and age where everybody's being vandalized and treated like genuine kids is probably contributing to the reason for why Gen Z is so weird about age and don't want to grow up and are afraid of getting older.
What is going on? Like, why are you calling people in their 20s unks? Am I going crazy? Y'all are weird. Y'all are very, very weird when it comes to age. Like, honestly, like, do you, like, is it like the mid-ages? Like, is it medieval times? Are you guys really gonna die in your 30s? Y'all realize we live up to 100, right?
I'll say this. People think everything is old until they actually get to that age and realize, holy shit.
Literally everybody. Literally. You know how many conversations I've had with people where they just like, damn, I used to think this was old. Like, literally everyone. When you get to that age, you're gonna be like, oh, shit. Like, this is not as old as I thought it was. Like, that's just an experience that everybody has to go through. So you just gotta let them. Just let them do them. Let them age, shame, and then feel stupid when they get to that age. And they ain't accomplished what they thought they would accomplish. That's really the kicker. When you a kid and you like, oh, you old and high. When I'm your age, I'm gonna have this and that. They get to that age and broke as hell, struggling, single, no relationship, no kids like they thought they would have it. Not saying you need that, obviously, but they be in their heads thinking, oh, I'm going to have this. I'm going to have a house with the white picket fence and da-da-da, and just settle down by the time I'm 25. No, you're not. I mean, you might. It's a thing, but it's not a common thing. It's just not.
Actually still trying to figure my life out. You know, a lot of people are in their mid-30s and still don't know what the hell they're doing with their own lives. I will say, though, although this may not technically be a word, this type of cringe-ass ageism needs to stop, let's be honest, all right? Calling somebody in their mid-20s, especially in Gen Z, somebody in their 20s unk because you think they're old, it's just like actually retarded. Back in the day, unk was reserved for people who were 40 years old and above, let's be honest here. People 40s, 50s, that's who we called unk, OG. So if you're out here, that's unironically, aside from the memes, calling someone unk or OG.
Because, yeah, although I'm sure age shaming was a thing when I was a kid, I don't recall younger people like in their fucking 30s or 20s being called unk or auntie. It was definitely the much older, mature women and men, and like he said, they would be like 40 something up, and it's like, okay, yeah, it made sense. But yeah, you get called unk and auntie at 25, they start calling you that.
And that person is in their 20s, then you need to seek help. And honestly, again, maybe part of the reason for why Gen Z is calling other Gen Zers unk is because a lot of Gen Zers are just aging horribly.
Can you explain to me why this generation of 30 to 40-year-olds look like they're in their 20s, but
no, they don't.
The 20.
And that's the other thing we gotta stop, okay? Y'all are delusional. I saw this post not so long ago, and this guy was like, millennials are delusional. They have to stop. Like, oh, people be telling me that I'm 18. No, they don't. You go to their profile picture and go look through their profile. No, nobody is mistaking you for being 18, 19 years old. You have to stop. But there's nothing wrong with that. You can look your age. That is okay. It's like the worst thing in the world, I feel like, for millennials to look their age. Like, they get upset about that. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't want to look older than you actually are, but it's okay if you look your age. That's fine. Why do you want to look like a kid? I think that's even more weird. When you are like, oh, I'm in high school, they think I'm a teenager. Why do you want to look like a teenager? Do you ever think about that and the psychology behind that? I think that's strange, that you want to look so young. Who are you trying to appeal to by looking this young? You're weird. It's okay if you look your age or around your age. It's fine.
Girls look like they're in their 40s. Is everyone going to be okay?
If you're of a generation that is watching the UV index like it's the stock market, y'all are going to get burned. Do you pair that with the misinformation that sunscreen causes cancer? It takes a genius to figure out that you're going to age faster. UV exposure is undeniably one of the highest risks for premature aging. If you need further proof, look at this twin study. This twin, tanning. This twin, sun protection. Next theory is the vaping epidemic. Millennials are the generation between cigarettes and vaping. We didn't put any of that into our body because smoking is absolutely going to age you like milk. It breaks down
liquor too. Liquor as well is horrible.
Collagen, it breaks down elastin, gives you smoker's lines, makes you look 10 times older. And would you believe me if I told you these people were in their 20s? More and more people are starting to get Botox and filler at a younger age, and not only
girl, you got it as well, so you better be.
That make us weird, but it can also age us significantly. Whether or not millennials look younger and Gen Z looks older, I don't really know. The key message here is whether or not Botox and filler at
okay, was she being funny? And this was like a filter? Because you can see that she looks this way.
And not only can that make us look weird, but it can also age us significantly. Whether or not millennials
now she
look
looks
younger
this way.
and Gen Z
Okay, this is better. I'm like, girl, you got some shit injected in your face too, so what are you talking about? But okay, it looks like that was the filter.
older, I don't really know. The key message here is wear your freaking SPF, don't touch vaping or smoking with a 10-foot pole, go easy on the Botox and filler.
So ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from the dermatologist herself, where I think she's a cosmetic, whatever, someone who does like chemical peels and whatnot. You heard it from her, all right? Not wearing your SPF, vaping, which I heard recently that vaping can be more dangerous than smoking, not because of the particular ingredients, but because it's more easily accessible and you do it more because, you know, the smell, it vaporizes, it quickly dissipates, and apparently the usage is so intense within younger populations with the amount of vape that people vape that it's becoming as worse, or if not more worse, than actual cigarettes, which is kind of crazy to think about. But ladies and gentlemen, I think this is a strange psychological phenomenon. I think it's multifaceted. I think with the rapid infantilization that Gen Z had to go through, the arrested development, the shitty diets, the shitty foods, the shitty water supply, all the toxins and chemicals we put in our bodies, the lack of movement, the social media addiction, the sleep deprivation, again, the food supply being tainted with apparently over 8 to 10,000 chemicals in our food supply, whereas Europe has like less than 2,000.
Oh my God. You decide what you put in your body. I'm tired of that conversation as well. Y'all can't be stupid your whole life. When I say y'all, I'm just speaking of people in general, especially people who spew this same nonsense online over and over again. Like all these chemicals in our food. You are choosing to eat hot Cheetos and Takis and hot dogs. Nobody forcing that down your throat. You don't have to eat that. Sure, these foods are more processed maybe than they are in other parts of the world, but you don't have to eat the junk. We have healthier food that you can eat that doesn't have all of these chemicals and dyes and all of that in it. You're choosing to eat that, but then complaining that, oh, it's so much worse here in America. Then don't eat it. don't eat it. But that's a whole nother conversation for another day. But listen, anybody can start to age like milk and look a mess. It is all dependent on how you live your life. If you're choosing to be online all day, every day, and, you know, stressing yourself out about, you know, all the tragedies in the world and, oh, wow, this girl's so pretty, why can't I look like her, and this and that, then yes, you're going to be stressed out. And then you add vaping to that and eating McDonald's and shit every day, then yeah, you're gonna start to look a mess. By the time you hit your 30s and 40s, you're gonna look crazy. But you can do something about that. But obviously this is not everybody. There are a lot of Gen Z people out there who look young. They look very young. So this isn't across the board, obviously. But yeah, I mean, it is a thing in some cases. Y'all let me know what y'all think though, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.